interesting to see what has been happening here recently, especially with the younger generations. In fact, when Tyler Cameron was in last, he had said, yeah, he's like, I grew up in the generation, probably the last where binge drinking was the thing that we did. And now you look at the numbers, 20% decrease in Gen Z in drinking than when Gen X was there doing it.
But is Gen X and all the other generations, are they still salty dogs going after it? Or is it collectively, is it down?
Now, it might be, and what I'm about to drop here could make an argument that even older generations are not drinking as much as they had been before. Now, part of this has to deal with, the marijuana and the legalization. Half the states in America now, recreationally, you can use it. And so that's part of it. People said, you know what, I can find my relaxation by doing marijuana instead.
And I'm not breaking the law.
Yeah, and you know what? And a lot of people, too, as you get older, hangovers are harder. And so if you have marijuana and you're just doing it to relax, to be able to do that, get your relaxation in and not have a hangover the next day, it's a big reward.
Many people that I know that they were not weed people at all, and they were drinkers. They go, man, I wanted to still relax and still have some time where I can chill out, but the hangovers were killing me. I couldn't do them anymore. So they switched to weed for that same exact reason you're saying.
Yeah, so I thought this is all just because of recreational marijuana. But then a couple things have happened in the last week that made me question that. One, I was watching Bill Maher's show last week, and he was talking about how, he's an older dude that still goes out to some of the young kid parties in the Hollywood Hills in Los Angeles.
It. Good for him. You're only as old as you feel, Bill.
But what he was saying is kind of interesting because, he still likes to drink his alcohol and he likes his marijuana. And he said, I pretty much am the only guy that is doing that at these parties.
He's turned.
Yes. And what he said was interesting to me is he said, look, I'm even the only guy that has pot at these things because these young kids are not even doing the marijuana anymore. In fact, a lot of times they'll come to me because they know the old guys got marijuana on them. And then I heard Chappell Roan talking about when she goes out, she microdoses. And it seems like the magic mushroom thing is actually kind of taking over now. And these numbers are staggering and surprised me. They say the use of magic mushrooms, or psilocybin, I guess is how you pronounce that, in the U.S. has risen 44% with young adults age 18 to 29. And listen to this one, 188% amongst adults over the age of 30. Wow, so a lot of moms are getting into the magic mushrooms, apparently.
I said a couple months ago, the mushrooms have crossed over into the soccer mom world.
I know some moms that get down with the mushrooms.
And you're right. It's the micro dosing.
You don't go nuts.
Because you can go nuts on this stuff. You can absolutely
go nuts. You got to be super careful.
But it's crossed over into regular pop culture.
That's what is so stunning to me. That even bypassing the marijuana is these magic mushrooms. They say that the big benefit of it and why people do it is you'll get these hallucinations. Maybe you'll see, hear, feel things that are not there. It'll produce an altered state of consciousness almost similar to LSD.
Maybe you'll cry in your shower for 3.5 hours. I mean, anything's possible.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff I'm worried about because...
Maybe you'll wake up with a goat in your bed.
Right.
Who knows?
To me, the negative effects still terrify me. It says anxiety, fear, nausea, muscle twitches, increased heart rate, and blood pressure.
It can bring out your feelings, too. It can be quite an emotional ride.
So how do you know that you're taking the right amount and you're not headed to freak-out town?
You don't, because you don't know what you're taking until it's in your system.
Well, that's kind of terrifying.
Yeah, you think?
Yeah.
The only way to know is to take it and see how you react to it.
Oh, my gosh.
Stick to your booze, old man.
Yeah, that's why this old scared dude, I know what tequila does to me.
I do, too. It makes you fun.
Wow.
We need to get more tequila in Kevin.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, it is interesting, but just that fear of the negative effects on that. But the numbers to me are stacked. 188% increase amongst adults over 30. And it sounds like it is kind of the new thing that a lot of kids, at least in the Hollywood Hills in Los Angeles, they just drop some magic mushrooms and go out for a night. Don't have any booze and are not even smoking marijuana.
But don't get it twisted. Don't act like the younger generation's got it all figured out and they're all microdosing at the right level. And
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
the same stuff is happening, just with a different kind of an instrument.
And I wonder how much of this is a fad. Is it just that the magic mushrooms are what's in right now, and eventually in 5 more years or 10 years, they go back to drinking alcohol or something else comes into the picture that takes its place? They say that it's really the legalization and especially the decriminalization of using magic mushrooms in a lot of places in the U.S. that has really kind of opened this up.
Some places are starting to do what remember all that synthetic weed you'd see out in the gas stations?
Yeah.
You're starting to see some of that now with the old mushrooms. And you're wondering when that's going to be put and squashed and no longer allowed.
That stuff's crazy and scary because literally you don't know what it's going to do to you when you take it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's scary. They say that kid that jumped out of the second story at Jupiter High School was on mushrooms.
Really? Yeah.
Took too much of some kind of funky shroom.
That's why Papa ain't there.
No, we are not. That's not a party.
Papa don't fly.
Stick to your tequila and your tincture every now and then.
You know what? I think I love hangovers.
I never jumped out of a second story thinking I could fly because of my hangover.
True. You're right. Now, I got a couple texts here. And yeah, the soccer moms are validating that, yep, they're doing the magic mushrooms. One text says, I was scared too to do them until about 2 years ago. And then I started taking small doses and it's like incredible.
Just stay small.
And another text said, people are mixing all kinds of stuff, but they said what you're doing here is the chocolate bars are a good way to do it because it really kind of the mushroom candy bars have it broken down into doses per square of chocolate that you eat. And it says on the package how many to take and what you can expect from taking that amount.
Unless you're like my girlfriends that are staying at somebody's house and they break into his pantry and they find these chocolates and they just start eating them. And then after they've consumed like 3 doses apiece, realize it's mushroom chocolate.
I'm not sure how they wouldn't know that, though.
They didn't know. They thought it was just regular chocolate. They were all hungover.
Well, just make sure that if you are going to do that stuff, you're getting it from reputable sources as well, because somebody said, yeah, people are also mixing fentanyl with some of the mushrooms.
Oh.
Yeah, kids are overdosing on it. Yeah, always make sure that you're doing it. But I think that's why the increase has happened, is that people can get it at distilleries and reputable places where it's either been decriminalized or it's even recreationally allowed.
This is how we do. It's the KBJ Show.